Hello, I'm Tesla, and I'm going to review how much I made, spent, and saved in December 2022, the last month and budget of last year. In December, I made $5,780.37. I got my usual salary, interest, cash back, and then I got $200 as a Christmas gift. And then the huge difference was I got a $1,000 bonus check from work, which is about $294 more than my average income, which is great. Going into budget because it doesn't show credit card payments in the reports anywhere in YNAB. I think it means whenever it's negative, it means I've put forth an extra payment towards the debt. I'm not really sure. That can't be an extra payment because this was the total payment. And this is more than what I assigned. So I'm not really sure. All I know is I put $181.25 towards my debt, and that was nearly 4% of my income. I invested 1,300, so finishing off strong with my usual amount, which is 28% of my income. 600 towards my 401k, 320 towards my HSA, and then I did some after-tax investing. Right on budget with that. And then one thing that I was over budget on, but in a good way, is my savings. I assigned $889.55 thanks to the extra cash I got in December. So one significant difference is that I emptied out my master's degree fund, which had $777 in it. I never put any money towards it. And I've been thinking that if I go for it, I should try for grants and scholarships anyway. So I moved that money into other funds. I also spent from this sinking fund of memberships because it was time to renew my yoga membership. And normally that would come in November, but I wasn't able to get the check to them until December because I was traveling. And so once you subtract what I put in versus what I took out, I am negative $20.45. However, I am still considering this a win because I had that large pre-planned expense that I pre-saved for, and then there was Chip's dental appointment. And that was actually more expensive than they said it was going to be, so I thought I was going to be very negative. I didn't think I'd be anywhere close to almost zeroing out. Because I was able to put extra money into my funds, even though my 2023 goals video is already posted, I had to adjust them just slightly because I came in with a larger starting balance in some of my sinking funds than I thought I would. But that just puts me in a bit more of a head start. For example, in memberships, I thought I would start off with $20, but instead I'm starting off with $220. So things like that. But as far as investing and saving, I think this was a pretty good month for me, a good way to finish off the year. This chart will tell me what I thought I would spend during the month versus what I actually spent and the difference, but I will be mostly looking at my YNAB spending report and then just referencing those numbers off budget, or off screen, I should say. Going into basic expenses, I expected to spend $250 on groceries, but spent $154, so I'm under budget by nearly $96. This does include things like yummy winter treats, even miniature bundt cakes, lots of holiday themed stuff went into my groceries this year, as long as it was like edible. I'm under budget by transportation as well because I budgeted $360 because I thought I'd have to refill my toll account a couple times, but I didn't end up having to. So I spent $222 and I'm under budget by $138, which I love. And it was basically nothing but gas because I drove over 1,000 miles in December because I did the math because I was curious. So a lot of miles in the holidays. One area I was really under budget by was personal care. I thought I was going to get sick, so I budgeted $45 for all sorts of medicines, but I didn't get sick, which is great. So I just bought sleeping pills, and that was like only $5. Home care, I also came under by a lot. So I had budgeted $657, and that is because each check I had budgeted for a cleaning service that I never got. For the first check, I just ran out of time. And then the second check, a friend said they wanted to clean my house for me as a Christmas gift. I'm not really into physical gifts unless they're practical, and even if they're practical, I probably don't want anything. Like, I like money, I like food, and I like tasks to be done for me. And that's about it. For example, they changed out my carbon monoxide and fire detectors, and I thought that was my gift, but they wanted to do more. So I had moved all the money that I put aside for cleanings into my savings, but then their roommate caught COVID and they couldn't come over and do it, so I just cleaned the house myself. I also managed to come under budget for pet care, so they did tell me his dental appointment was going to cost more than I thought. I also not only budgeted for his dentist, but for outfits and a Santa photo, but I came under by just $12. I did get him outfits and I booked him a Santa appointment, but that was the weekend my family asked me to come visit them. So we missed Santa. And anytime I left anywhere during the winter, I took Chip with me because there was a freeze coming on in Texas. And the last time there was a freeze, my house lost power. It was 30 degrees inside. All my pipes burst. They burst in the attic. So it was flooding from the top down, like water coming out of vents and fucking up the ceilings. And it was flooding from the bottom up because all my pipes on the first floor had burst. So I walked in my living room and I was wading through puddles and puddles of water, seeing the ceiling have huge holes because I had left for Christmas or I hadn't left for Christmas. I had left to go find some place with heat and electricity. And then by the time I came back, my house was just destroyed. And I was living in roach infested motels for 6 months plus while my house was being renovated. And it just sucked. And it was like honestly extremely traumatic. So anytime I left during the winter, Chip went with me because there was just no way I was gonna. I was too paranoid. And I didn't even want to leave my house. I was like, I will spend Christmas by myself in my house just to make sure nothing goes wrong. But I left anyway. Thankfully, nothing happened. The power lasted, no damages. But all that to say, Chip did a lot of traveling this month too, and he's a little under budget. So cool. Oh, I did try to get a picture of him in front of the Christmas tree, but he's not very good at sitting and staying still. So I have a photo of me trying to hold him in place, but it basically just looks like I'm choking him. So can't frame that. Maybe I will hire someone to stage, like to dress up as Santa and stage like it's December. No, that's too much. That's too much. Letting it go next December is fine. Out of my basic expenses, my biggest expense, as always, is bills. So I thought my bills were going to be a lot higher. I budgeted $1,500, but I came under budget, which is surprising considering I've been running the heat and using Christmas lights. But hey, a win is a win. Lifestyle expenses look like they came in pretty low, but that I would say is mostly because if you've seen my other videos, you know it is not uncommon for me to lend people money on a month-to-month basis, and they never pay me back that same month. So I got paid back $580, so I appreciate that. But YNAB counts it as like a negative against all the other spending, so if I didn't have this, it would look higher. My biggest thing was giving. I had budgeted $220, but I went $134 over budget because I spent $351. This includes last minute Christmas presents, buying meals for family and friends, and then going out to events with friends. Because whenever I do gift something to a friend, I like it to be like event based, like a comedy show, a theater show, like just something where we get out of the house and do something. But I gotta rethink it, okay? Because I like to buy my tickets way in advance. And then I always buy it the day of the worst weather. I don't know how I do it. I look at the forecast and it's fine, but then the day of it's terrible. So, for example, the day of the zoo lights, my friend had COVID and couldn't go anyway. But then I invited my mom, and even my mom said no because it was cold and it was rainy, and I had to go by myself and be all cold and wet by myself. And I should just stop trying to plan things so far in advance. Like, I do things about a month in advance. Maybe I should wait the week before or something because these tickets are often non-refundable, and then if it's a gift to someone, they feel obligated to go even if it's shitty weather, and it's just like, I don't know. I got to rethink that. My second biggest expense was appearance, and I knew it would be higher, but I didn't think it was going to be this high. I had budgeted $233 and I spent $246, so definitely overspending. In the beginning of the month, I bought a small purse, and then I decided to buy Osea skincare, which I wanted to do in payments. And then one thing I had to buy was dandruff shampoo. Now, back in May, I bought two shampoo and conditioner sets from Maui Moisture. I have naturally very wavy hair, and I thought those products would help, but it stripped my hair of all my texture and it aggravated my dandruff and dried it out. 9 months later, I am still not done with those freaking products. I don't like to buy new shit before I'm done with my old shit, but I couldn't take it anymore. I'm not super picky about how I look, so I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna have crappy hair for a while. It's been 9 months. I couldn't take it, so I bought dandruff shampoo for like $12. I'm still gonna use up the conditioners. I'm gonna use the dandruff shampoo and then use up all the old conditioners, and then I'll probably just use those other shampoos for like, I don't know, body wash or something. But damn, the only good thing I can say about those products is they last for fucking ever, and I can't take it. After that, I spent basically $145 at Old Navy, which is more than I thought. So I bought a nice pair of flats because I actually don't own any flats. My last pair got a ton of holes in them, so I had to throw them away. And ever since then, I have worn slippers or Converse. It doesn't matter the occasion, I have worn slippers or Converse. I wear slippers to work, I wear Converse to dates. And I also have a pair of like winter boots that sometimes I switch it up with because it gets cold, but that's it. So I decided to buy some flats, and then I bought 3 dresses for New Year's. The reason I bought 3 is because I don't like to get stressed out while shopping, and I don't like to nitpick in the dressing room. I basically just throw something on, I see if it kind of fits, and then I just buy it, and then I go home and I tear myself apart in the mirror, and then I decide, is this a good color? Is this a good fit? Blah, blah, blah. And then I do all that nagging that you would do in the dressing room, just at home in my own privacy where I feel better. Because if I had to make my final decisions in store, I'd be there all day and I'd drive myself nuts. So I am going to return some of the dresses that I decided not to keep, but that doesn't help me in this budget. And then that night, I was out of town, so I didn't have the stuff at my disposal because I didn't pack it. So I needed hair ties, hair clips, and a lipstick, which the lipstick color I chose makes me look dead. It is so nude that it matches my skin tone so perfectly that it makes it look like I don't have lips. Like my mouth just disappears. It's scary. That was a bad decision, a bad lipstick choice. But that cost $21. And then this last one, this is exciting. I wrote nose piercing. I don't know why I wrote that. That is not accurate. I got a helix piercing. I've wanted one a long time. My Bitmoji has one, and I was under other categories, so I just moved that money into my appearance category and went for it. I'm not even sure I like where she placed it. I think she may have put it too close to the edge. It makes me worry like how the jewelry will look once it's actually healed and I can switch out my jewelry, but it's already done. Hopefully I don't get any infections or anything. It's tender but not painful, although my hair is constantly getting stuck in it, so that hurts. And then I can't sleep on my right side anymore. If I'm on camera again, I'll be sure to show it to you. I think I wrote nose piercing because I bought one of those fake nose piercings, where it hooks on your nose so you can see what it would look like. But then I fell asleep with it on while I was out of town, and now I can't find it anymore. But anyways, that was like $7, and then with my actual piercing altogether with tip, that was $61.71. Another category where I went over was dining out. So I had budgeted $175 and then I had spent $231. So that is like, how much more is that? That's $56 more than I had budgeted. So there's like the usual fast food, right? Which I would say is even a little more than average because every time I do a long drive, I get fast food like either beforehand or just along the way. Or I'll get gas station snacks, but honestly, gas station snacks tend to cost me more than fast food anyway. But I actually went to some pretty good restaurants as well, and I'm pretty happy with some of the meals that I got to indulge in. Considering I have spent $400 on dining out in some of the earlier months in the year, I think $231 is pretty acceptable and it is over budget, but since I was so under budget in other areas, like I don't really feel bad about it. So, I don't know. I don't think that's too crazy for me considering my past habits. So, for fun money, this included things like, decorating a reindeer frosting cookie type of thing. And so I put that under fun money instead of groceries because there is no way I am going to eat that thing after everybody puts their hands all up on it. That's not sanitary. I'm not doing it. It's an activity, not food for me. But on top of that, I went to do different type of like light show event activities because I just like Christmas lights. I bought tickets for a play that I think is like in February, and then I saw Wakanda Forever. And that was kind of all the fun stuff I did that cost me money. Anything else would have been family related and like free, and it was pretty low key in December. Subscriptions was $113. I'm pretty much always on point with that because it costs the same every month. And then my YNAB subscription came in that was like over $105 a little bit, but I knew it was coming, no big deal. Lastly is miscellaneous, where I am once again under budget. I had budgeted $120. I spent $84, so that is almost $32 under budget. I don't know what this $3 charge is, but I bought a laptop bag because anytime I go into work or take my laptop with me anywhere, I'm just carrying my laptop and my charger in one hand, or if it's in my car, it's like sliding around in my car. I just don't like that. So I wanted something more secure. I bought myself a laptop bag. And because it's a work laptop, my work really should have provided that, but it's okay. I had to buy a new microphone because I lost my other one, and then I found my other one, and then it turns out the one I bought was for iPhone and not even for laptops. So like, not very helpful, not a very good choice. And then I bought a little tripod for my iPhone. It's okay. It's not great. Altogether, that was $42.17. And then I bought a new mouse. And I know I just bought a mouse a couple months ago, but it was like miniature sized and not comfortable with my hand. And I work on my laptop. I do my free time on my laptop. I need something comfortable. So I bought a regular sized mouse for $13. And it's a Bluetooth mouse, which I prefer because anytime I have one of those plug in mouses, I always end up losing the thing that plugs into the computer. I lose things a lot. Lastly, I paid for a teleprompter app because I thought it would be helpful for when I was on camera, but I think in some parts it was helpful. Like there were some sections where there were a lot of numbers that I wanted to reference, but for the most part, it actually kind of throws you off, or me off, I guess, because when I think about what I want to say in my head versus what I read, what I've written, I'm like, I'm not saying that. Why did you write that? That was stupid. I'm not going to say it that way. And so there's just a disconnect between what I write and what I say, apparently. But I don't like regret it. I'm glad I tried it for only $13. It's not a big deal, but I don't think this is going to get a whole lot of use ever, but whatever. But yeah, lots of spending this month, $3,168.67, and even more than that when you count in my yoga subscription. So this month, my savings ratio was 29.4, which means my spending ratio was about 70%, which is not too bad, I think. That's like pretty appropriate, 70-30. So overall, I guess I'd say I had a good month, and I hope y'all did too. My first budget for 2023 is already out if you want to check that out. Bye.